Hello, welcome to a new session of HPP Innovation Week, the benchmark event on high-pressure processing technology for the food and beverage industry. In our virtual conference, we are discussing the latest trends and innovations. This is Marta Onrubia, Sales Area Manager in Europe, and in the next few minutes, we are going to enjoy an interesting panel discussion on HPP in Europe, a consolidated and growing market with three important players. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So they are Rob Habbook, Commercial Manager at Deli 24 from UK, Marek Janke, Vice President of HPP Tradebridge from Poland, and Ramon Just, General Manager of APA Processing from Spain. Thank you all and very welcome. This is Marta Onrubia. I'm part of the Hiperbaric team since 2014. It's gonna be 7 years in July, and currently I'm taking care of the projects in Europe, helping our customers to implement the technology in their product processing line. First, we will briefly introduce who is Hiperbaric and talk about the European landscape. Then, the spokesperson of the brand, Deli 24, Tradebridge, and APA Processing, just will present their companies and their relationship with the high-pressure processing. Finally, we will have a live panel to discuss various issues. You know, all the attendees have an open chat where you can send us all your questions. So, well, let's get started. Okay, so about us, Hiperbaric is an international reference in the development of high-pressure technologies and a world leader in the industrial high-pressure processing equipment, or HPP. Hiperbaric designs, manufactures, and distributes high-pressure processing systems for the food and beverage industry since 1999. We are currently the world leaders with 60% of market share and more than 300 HPP units all around the world. We have 20 years experience just focused on HPP. Our turnover is about 50 million euros. We are a team of 120 employees, 60% of them with university degrees, and we have invested 18 million euros in 20 R&D projects in our whole life. Okay, so we are located in Spain, where we have the workshop and our headquarters. Okay, all our machines are made in Spain, in a city called Burgos, but we have also sales offices in US and also in Singapore. And we also have after-sales offices in US, in Mexico, and Oceania to provide the best service to all our customers around the world. Well, no doubts that the HPP is a global technology. We are gonna talk about Europe in this presentation in the following slides, but just say that the most important market for us is North America, with the 45% of the machines installed in this region, talking about Canada, US, and Mexico, mainly because of the avocado product, of course. Europe is the following main market with the 28% of the machines installed here. I will give you more details later in the following slides. The next and the third more important region, that's why we opened a couple of years ago an office there, is Asia, with the 70% of the machines. Then Oceania with the 5% of the machines, Latin American 4%, and we have also machines in Africa. We have 3 machines, which means 1% of our equipment installed in South Africa, processing juice and avocado product mainly. So, okay, let's talk now about Europe. As the title of the presentation is a consolidated and growing market. Some milestone in Europe. Well, in the first commercial HPP product was made in Japan in the 90s, in the 1990 actually, but the very first in Europe was a juice made by a French company called Ulti in 1994. And the next one was made, produced by Espuña, was developed and produced by Espuña, and it was the very first meat product in the world. It was launched in 1998. We began in 2002, and actually we installed our first equipment in the meat industry. It was the first horizontal system in the world, and this was actually a medium big size machine, and this company was our showroom for the rest of the world. Then in 2011 was born the first HPP toll center in Europe, which is APA Processing. We have with us today Ramon Just, who will explain you better who they are and what they do. But they were the very first in Europe offering the HPP toll service. And then 2 years ago, a couple of years ago, we were awarded by the Institute of the Professional and Business Excellence due to our development in the technology, or development, sorry. Okay, so in this slide, I wanted to show you the units in Europe. Actually, the blue points are all our machines installed here in Europe, and it gives us a great idea about the situation in our continent in Europe. Actually. Okay, so if we look where are most of the machines installed, we see that they are mainly in the Mediterranean area, in Spain, France, Italy, even Greece, also UK. So most of them are in the Western Europe, and we just see few of them in the East Europe, in Poland, Lithuania, Romania, Hungary. So there are still a lot of chance to build an HPP factory there. Europe is the second most important region in number of installed machines, as I said before. The difference with US, which is our main market, is that the machines here are smaller size in terms of production, but we have a wider range of HPP products. We have more application. We have small applications that are coming, and most of them are developed here in Europe more than in other continents. We have 95 machines installed here. 40% of them were installed over the last 5 years. So this gives us an idea about the growth of the technology here in Europe. As I said, the Mediterranean area is the most important, with 60% of the machines installed here. Of course, Spain is the HPP country per excellence, with 30 units installed, not only close to Mediterranean, but also in the north, in the south, processing also avocado and fruit products. UK is the HPP trend adopter, probably is the one that always has or always shows the most innovative product and the most innovative trends coming from US in terms of fruit and vegetable products, and also on-the-go packaging, etc. And East Europe is a growing market. In East Europe, Poland is the fastest growing market. We didn't have any any machine there in 2018. And by the end of that year, we installed the first one. And right now, there are 4 HPP units working in this country. Okay, so I wanted to give you an idea about the applications, well, where our machines, what our machines are doing actually, what application or what product are processing, okay? So as you can see in orange, we see the juice and beverage, which is the 24% of our machines are doing this kind of product. The next one will be the meat product, with the 19% of the machine working in this sector, following by the avocado product, with 18% of our machines working here, mainly in Mexico, but also here in Spain, in South Africa, all the world, in all the world around. Also, the following sector will be the tolling service. We have today with us 3 of the most important companies in this sector here in Europe, but 17 of our machines are offering the HPP service all around the world. Also, we can find some machines doing seafood, not only to extend the shelf life, but also to detach the meat from the shell, okay? 6% in R&D centers, 3% in ready meals, doing ready meals, and then 3% doing salsas, pet food, and baby food, which are the most innovative and the latest product that now are using HPP to extend the shelf life. And just 2% processing dairy products, milk, cheese, etc. I wanted to compare what our machines are doing around the world and what our machines are doing here in Europe. Okay, as you can see, the juice sector is important in all over the world, but here in Europe is actually more because we have 30% of the equipment working in this sector. Okay. If we look at the line of the avocado product, we see here in Europe is much lower than in the rest of the world, and this makes sense because we don't have as much raw material as it could have in Mexico, for instance. But actually, in Europe, there are machines doing avocado, especially in Spain. The blue, the blue line is the tolling center. As you can see, in Europe is almost the same than in the rest of the world. Meat products are also lower than slightly lower than in the global units installment. Fish, seafood in general is slightly higher in Europe than in the world. And then also ready meals is here more important than in the global units installment. In the next one, I wanted to compare Europe in 2016 and Europe right now. Sorry. It gives us an idea about the trend and what the consumers are looking for. I can highlight the line for juices. As you can see, in 2020, 30% and 21, 30% of the machines are working in this sector, but 5 years ago, it was just 16% of them. Also, the meat sector is also really an important point about the change. Since you can see in 2016, it means 34% of the machines were working here, but right now just 14% of them are working in this sector. Tolling is about the same. Seafood is slightly growing. Also, ready meals are more or less the same, and we have a new sector comparing with 2016, which is salsas and plant-based products. Right now, we have 4% of the machines working here, and in 2016, we didn't have any of them working in this sector. Okay, just to finish, I would like to show you some samples that are made here in Europe in all the sectors. So in the meat industry, we can find important customers here in Spain, like Noel and Martico. Also in Italy, like Golfera and Certosa Salumi, mainly processing cooked or cured or fermented meat. Actually, Martico is doing foie and is using the technology to assure the product is safe. Okay, in the juice and beverage, we can find samples in most of the countries here in Europe. Actually, later, Marek will talk about what they are doing, and probably they will talk a little bit about juices. Then in baby food is a really innovative product, but we have also some samples here in Europe. Actually, in UK, we can find some companies doing this, like Mia and Ben, and also in Spain, like La Nana, processing baby food. In the avocado sector, we can find companies doing this product mainly here in Spain, in the south, close to Malaga. Some of them are Caña Nature or Avomix. In the dip and vegetable product, we can find samples in Portugal, in Spain, and France, doing salmorejo, which is a really typical product from here, and it works really well with the high pressure to extend the shelf life. Also fruit purees, like mango purees, like the one that is made by So Natural in Portugal, and other products like hummus, made in our customers in L'Atelier in France. Also in pet food, we don't have many samples in Europe right now, but it is possible to use the technology to extend the shelf life and ensure that it's a safe product for our pets. So these samples you can see here are mostly in US. Ready meals, which is, as you saw, is 80% of the machines are working here. Sorry, 8% of the machines are working here. And in Spain, we can find good samples like a Lifestyle Stapper or Limo and Lima. In dairy, in Europe, our machines are processing mainly cheese, but we have also machines doing milk, not here, as I said, but in Australia. And also in the seafood sector, we have great samples here. We have a customer processing cod, desalted cod in the north, and they use HPP to double the shelf life of the product. And also our recent really innovative also application is to use HPP to extend the shelf life of the octopus without using pasteurization. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention. If you have any doubt, you can contact me on my email or on my phone. And now it's time for our guests to talk and introduce their companies. Okay,
Thank you, Marta.
welcome, welcome, Rob.
Thank you, Marta.
Let's listen first to Rob Hapgood, commercial manager at Deli 24, with 30 years career in food regulation, food technical management, and business development relating to HPP, with the last 7 years spent at Deli 24, the UK primer high-pressure contact processor. Deli currently owns 3 hyperbaric equipment with more than 40 customers, processing meat, dairy, juice, functional beverage, dip, and baby food. Welcome, Rob. If you can please share your screen. That's great. Perfect.
Okay. Thank you, Marta. 30 years, that makes me sound very old. So, well, welcome to Deli 24. As Marta said, we're the UK's premier high-pressure processing contract processor with 3 machines, all from Hiperbaric, 2 420 and 1 135 litre. We were the first in the UK to offer HPP services, but we started several years before that with our own products. We've currently got a 6,000 square metre facility with manufacturing facilities as well as post-HPP facilities. As I said just now, we've over 11 years operation with HPP and started with a 135 litre machine. You can see it here in its current condition, so it's obviously looking very shiny and polished even after 11 years. We've looked after our machines very well, and so have Hiperbaric. Overall, the company, the family who own the company, the Winter family, have been involved with food manufacturing for over 60 years in a wide range of different manufacturing processes, but in particular meat processing. But they've also had sandwich factories and meat cutting and slaughterhouses, and have always been at the forefront of technology and finding the most up-to-date technologies around the world in order to look for potential markets. The site we have currently is a very high standard, BRC accredited, Soil Association, so we can meet all the supermarkets' needs. Just a very brief history. Back in the year 2000, we installed our first 135 litre machine, and initially were manufacturing Deli 24 own brand snacks, which were a combination protein product, which would have had around 15 days life without HPP, and post-HPP had 80 days life. Those products were manufactured for 2 or 3 years, and then we started to get more and more interest from lots of other companies in the UK wishing to use HPP for product development and shelf life extension. And so in 2015, we took the decision to stop manufacturing any products for ourselves and only offer a contract processing service. And we then installed our 420 litre machine, doubled the factory size, and at that point moved solely to contract processing. Over that time, we then became busier and busier and increased to 3 shifts, and then had the need to buy a further 420 litre machine in 2018. So we now have the 3 machines all operating. And then in 2019, moved on to commence some contract manufacture of business to business and retail avocado-based products. So we're taking lower grade fruit that wouldn't necessarily be suitable for retail, and then making avocado-based products from that, which are all HPP'd. We're currently a team of 40 colleagues, and you can see the size of the factory there, quite a large footprint, and we do have additional space still within the factory in order to potentially do other contract manufacturing should the need arise, should a customer come along with sufficient volume. So we have the ability to put in or compartmentalize different parts of the factory to do different things. So we're currently offering some manufacturing. So we've got some processing equipment, but also additional post-HPP solutions such as date coding, boxing, labeling, palletizing, etc., so that most clients' products are then collected by their distributors or consolidators. As Marta mentioned, we've over 40 customers at the moment, and we're processing everything from cooked meats to fermented meats, dairy products, lots of juices. Big growth areas, functional beverages for us, obviously manufacturing dips for the guacamole customer, for the avocado customer, with a small amount of baby food, and we also do some seafood products. So that completes my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rob. Really interesting to hear about Deli.
Thank you.
Okay, so now it's time to hear the next player. They are Tradebridge. Marek Young, Vice President of HPP Tradebridge, is the person who is gonna talk about them. He has over 20 years experience of managing sales and development teams with great understanding of how innovative trade works. Associated with the Tradebridge company and processing industry from 2015. Now, he is Vice President of HPP Tradebridge, specializing in innovative go-to-market strategies. Tradebridge, or Pascal, is the leader of the Pascalization process service in the Polish market, and also provide this service to anyone in Europe, already brands and private label lines, and has developed their own HPP brand called Sweetgo in the juice and smoothie sector in November 2020. Okay, Marek, very welcome.
Thank you.
Can you please share your screen?
Yes. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Thank you very much for the introduction and for the opportunity to meet you today. I'd like to introduce our company and tolling services we do, but also to give an idea how we can support each other in terms of the product sourcing or introducing on the market. Because of the HPP acronym is not very well known in Poland, we use rather the name of Pascalization. Our brand name and logo of the company is Pascal. We've built this company based on two pillars. First one is the trade business we do between the European markets and Middle East and North African markets since at least 7 years. And the second pillar is the company which is providing the fruit and vegetable services, mostly production, since 20 years. Our facility is located in Poland, in the center of the Polish orchards, and we do our best to use those apples or those vegetables and fruits from the region. Poland is still better or well known as an export and production country. So export is still growing. We are making our best to deliver the highest quality possible, highest quality products with the reasonable price. For the HPP production, we dedicated 1,200 square meters, and this is the space or resources which are prepared to additional investments, at least for 2 or 3 machines. And the total space of this company is 12,000 square meters. We have cold storage and freezers there, and some ramps, gates, and people or team ready to service every particular producer in Poland. Lately, we measured what is our market share. So we measured that it's more than 80% of the HPP production in Poland went through our facility. Because, as I mentioned, HPP is not well known, our key activities are now focused on research and development with our customers. So this is something what we treat very seriously. We are helping out our customers with the packaging, labeling, storage, and logistics. But the most important part of our business nowadays in Poland, because HPP is pretty fresh, is educating the market and educating the decision makers. So today we are looking actively for producers interested in HPP services. But it's not only that. We are trying to help them in a wider range. For example, we are helping them to look for a new market. We are looking for new clients for our customers. And I believe everybody or you can make the same and join us in this activity. We as a company have launched a lot of products on Polish market and some other countries as well. We have very well access to the trade market, senior level key accounts. So we are able to help to many companies to start the activities not only in the production or pascalization, but also in sales. So this is something what I believe will build a loyalty and strengthen the connections between our partners and our company. So we are looking for companies interested in launching products in Poland. I personally believe that if we may increase number of products and increase the numerical distribution of the products with the HPP, the cake will grow much faster than today. It's obviously a global trend, and we are somewhere below the average of the European Union countries. Nevertheless, Poland is developing very fast. So I believe if you know as a tolling center the products or producers who are interested in entering the Polish market, you are more than welcome to contact us. We are willing to make the range of our products wider. And as an example, we wanted to build the category, so we started to deliver the juices and smoothies based on our own recipes, but the most important, observing the current food trends. So we created the product in accordance with the EFTA. The products are really functional, so they are helping to our bodies to increase the metabolism, immunity, or clean our bodies. So summing up, we are a Polish-based company. We are providing the HPP services, but we are also looking for products from abroad to launch them on the Polish market. And we are also looking for the partnership and cooperation to create HPP products or HPP brand, as well as HPP services. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Marek. Really nice to know more about Tradebridge. Okay, so let's continue with the next guest, Ramon Just from APA Processing. Ramon is the managing director of APA Processing since 2015, with an active involvement in the operation side of the company. APA Processing offers interested companies access to the HPP technology through a fast, flexible, and high-quality service. With more than 10 years' experience in the HPP sector, APA can effectively assess customers from their product development until the final picking stage. Ramon, welcome.
Welcome.
You can share your presentation whenever you want.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Marta. Thank you, Marta, for this nice introduction, and it's a pleasure being here with all of you today. So I will give you some points on who we are and what do we do and how can we actually help our customers. So we are APA Processing. We are a company 100% dedicated to HPP, and actually we were the first HPP tollers in Europe when we were founded back in 2011. And we established with a Hiperbaric 420, the biggest in the market back then. And these 10 years have allowed us gaining a lot of experience in product development and market trends. We are located in Barcelona in a strategic location. We are very close to the port and the airport and the main motorway that drives through Europe. And at our facilities, we also process all categories of packaged products, being juices and meat products, the ones that with more presence. But you would be surprised with the many variety of products that we process here. So if we look at some milestones of our company, as we said, and Marta also mentioned before, we were founded in 2011 as part of a project that involved many shareholders, and I would like to especially mention two, Hiperbaric and Noel. Then within years, Noel became the only shareholder of the company. So for those who don't know it, Noel is a meat manufacturer with more than 80 years experience, and is one of the main food industries here in Spain. And I think it's very important to say that Noel has always, from day one, understood our business, which has always been providing HPP tolling services to any type of company. So while having full independence in our day-to-day, we can also benefit from their technical expertise and all the good things of being part of a corporation. We always understood also that if HPP is in a sense a promoter of food safety, we also needed the higher certifications. And this is why we quickly got, as soon as we could, the IFS and the ECO, and also the USDA certifications. And then as years have gone by, the HPP activity has increased exponentially, I would say. And I also think that part of it is due to the fact that we understood that we needed to expand the offerings of products to our customers and to those interested with the HPP technology. So we needed to provide them not only the possibility of outsourcing the HPP service, but any stage of the production process. So that is why in 2016, with a client of us, we participated in the foundation of Co-Beverage Lab, which is a B2B business for cold pressed juices. And also in 2019, we did kind of a similar thing, and we created a partnership with a client of us, which is Tap Tap Food, and they manufacture other types of liquids, mainly dips, sauces, soups, and Spanish typical products such as gazpacho. Now we are just facing a new era. We've expanded our facilities. We now have nearly 4,000 square meters. We've just started operating our new Hiperbaric 5-to-5 machine, and we are looking at a great future ahead. And if we think on what's next, it's always understanding the new trends that may appear. Also, always promoting the use of the HPP technology, and also looking for new partnerships and making sure that we keep with the excellent service levels we are currently providing to make sure that our clients keep happy with us, I would say. So then how can we actually help our clients? Well, we put no volume restrictions. The minimum volume is 1 cycle and up to whatever the client needs, and always trying to make sure that the product is processed within 24 hours upon arrival, especially for those most critical and fresh ones. We can also help at any stage of the product development, packaging validation, receipt, recommendations on pressure and time. And if the client requires so, we can also redirect them to these key partners that we talked about. And finally, once the product is processed, we offer many services like drying, final packaging, and distribution, either back to the client or to the final customer. And then some contact information. If you have any further questions or you would like to contact me, feel free to text me, to send an email, and to visit our website, and I will be more than happy to help. So now I should.
Thank you very much, Ramon. Really interesting as well. Really interesting to hear about your growth also.
Thank you very much.
It's been really interesting to hear all your presentation, your insights on the HPP, and now it's time to do our live panel about your experience with the HPP technology. So I will make you some inquiries, some questions, and I hope your answer will help anyone to think in the HPP and as a new business. Okay, so let's go with the first question. How did you know the technology and why did you decide to implement it? I don't know, maybe Ramon, you can start answering this question.
Well, back in 2011, we detected that the implementation of the HPP was still at a very initial stage in Europe, but we understood the potential it had, and that there was no company that could offer pure HPP tolling services here in Europe, while in the US was very, very common. And a trend that, so we saw that as a great opportunity, and we decided to invest in.
Okay, that's great. Maybe Rob, you can share also.
Exactly the same, really. Seeing the American market growing, looking for new technologies, seeing that there was a potential in the UK and wider in Europe, and an ability to create new products that couldn't be in retail sale otherwise. So that was the reason for it, just seeing that as an opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. And I would like to hear the answer from Tradebridge, since they are the newest in the sector.
Yeah, exactly. Our history is completely different because we are pretty new in this business. Actually, the pandemic has caused that in our vicinity, many people pay more attention to the healthy eating. So we discussed a lot about that. We found that the mainly fresh fruits and vegetables can provide the vitamins and minerals. And we were the company as a Tradebridge who were looking for the new products. So we wanted to take advantage of this trend with the healthy eating by providing to our customers the healthy and fresh fruits and smoothies, so that they can comfortably strengthen their bodies. And for us, the most important issue to solve was the logistics. So the logistic is always the limitation, but in terms of the fresh products, it was completely deal breaker. So we started to look for a solution, and we decided to invest in HPP production and the HPP machine, and that was how we got to know Hiperbaric.
Okay, that's great. Great testimonial. Thank you, Marek. Okay, so let's go then for the second question of this panel. What would you say are the most important benefits of the high pressure processing? I don't know if anyone wants to start first.
Well, I'd say the fact that you've got higher quality products that are on the market is probably the most important. You couldn't retail fresh juice of this quality in any other way. There are obviously other ways of preserving food, but this is the best with an extended shelf life. Apart from that, longer life, also safety, and as I said before, bringing products to market that you couldn't do otherwise.
I cannot add anything. Yeah,
I guess it's about the same. Yeah. Also, Marek said already in the first. Yeah.
Actually, it's nothing more what we can add, a part of the health, because we are really focused on the healthy products. So we believe that the fruits and vegetables are important in our diet. So how you can manage it if you are at work, you are still busy, being a mom, being a dad, having many hours at work. So you have to deliver to your kids, to your family, or to your body a healthy nutrition. And this is almost not possible. And I believe that there's not many solutions for that. So the benefits from the HPP is that we can deliver the healthy food, the minerals and vitamins. So that was an idea to create the product from our side. But also this is an answer for those difficult times like a pandemic or so on. So we believe strongly in HPP.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for your comments. Okay, so let's go for the third inquiry. What are the most consolidated HPP application in your countries, in Spain, Poland, and UK? I don't know, maybe, Ramon, you can start.
Yeah. Okay, so in Spain, I would say that meat products and cold pressed juices are the ones that we also see the most in here. Mostly because, well, Spain is a great producer of fruits and vegetables, and also a great industry on the production of pork meat, especially. And these are the top two. And then we have typical products from the region, like, for example, the Spanish gazpacho and grated tomato as well, where it's very typical in our region and the south of Spain. So I would say that these are the most. The others are also there, but not as with such presence as we have with these topics.
I think it's interesting that the UK has become much more adventurous with its food and drink over the last 10 years, and so we see a lot more Spanish and Italian and German and Polish products here, and even being manufactured here now or processed once they arrive in this country. So for various reasons that, there might be fermented meats that go into a sandwich, and there's an enhanced safety. So that's sort of a growth area for us. But it's pretty much the same thing, I would say. Again, it is juice initially. Functional drinks, as you've said, Marek, is really important now. And then guacamole, avocado, any sort of dip. We must have 25 different hummuses in our supermarkets here now. And so, we're becoming more and more cosmopolitan, I think, in our food. And people want higher quality, less preservatives, more natural, but need the shelf life. And so it is pretty much the same as you said in Spain, but a lot of the products are, we've stolen from you. So.
Yeah, well, we saw in the presentation that probably juice is the category that has grown more in the last 5 years. So I guess that's common in all countries here in Europe, even in Poland. I guess Pascal has a lot of customers in this sector, in the juice sector. I don't know if you want to add something, Marek, to the comments.
Yeah, in Poland we have. First of all, we do not have as big or long experience as my colleagues have. But what I may say is that the technology is still completely unknown, especially when we go to the end consumer. So they do not recognize the product, and this is a serious problem for us. So we had to put a lot of more work than we assumed in building category. But what we can see, obviously, juices are the biggest issue in Poland. But other categories are now trying to check if they can start to produce with the HPP technology. So they are preparing the offer, they are testing a lot. So we are traveling from a factory to a factory with the meat industry, seafood, a few others, just to explaining what kind of technology it is, what kind of advantages or disadvantages they might have. But I believe that's what I said before. It's very important to build this category, to implement as many products as we only can. The contact for the consumer with the technology should be in many places, in many areas, and many products. So we are looking actively also the production or the products from abroad to implement it through our resources to the biggest retailers in Poland, just to build a category. This is our goal, and this might probably or definitely help us to grow also and develop.
You are almost the first in Poland, you have a lot of things to do here, but I'm sure you will have success.
For me, it's very interesting when I am looking on the range of the products of the companies of my colleagues, which was presented earlier. We are now in Poland focused on juices only or almost only. But when I see the guacamole or other products which are not existing in Poland, it's extremely interesting, not only in terms of HPP, because it's a tooling center business, but in terms of the introduction on the Polish market. So we as a trading company, we are still looking for such opportunities. And we see a delay in the trends. If some trends are global, they first appear in the United States or west part of Europe, the UK or Spain, and then they are slowly going on the east part of Europe. So maybe some years after, the Poland will do the same. you guys are doing now.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
are following the trends.
Agree.
I think that this happens in Spain as well, actually.
Yeah.
We always see that the trends start in the US, then they go to the UK, and then they enter Europe, and probably before they move to Poland, they move to Spain. So we actually also see this thing. And I would say on what Marek was saying before, is that when I started 6 years ago, I realized that the final customer, I think that they will never, or at least in the short term, they will never know about what is HPP, because it's an unknown industry overall, the food industry for them, how things are done. They just see the product on the shelves, and they want to see that they have done the conservatives, and it's clean label and fresh and everything. But that's all they worry about. So they won't know about the technology. But what I realized is that at the beginning, even the companies, the quality departments, they didn't know that much about HPP. But I have seen a lot of difference on this between 2015 and 2018 or 19. Now everyone has heard about it. Most of the companies have at least looked into it and things like that. While before you would talk to them and they wouldn't know anything. So I think that there's a lot of progress going.
I think there was some resistance as well early on from some technical people and not understanding the technology. And I think that's moved on massively, that there's, because was it a novel process? Was it going to need to go through the Food Standards Agency or EFSA or anything like this? And I think there was quite a lot of resistance to that. And we still see that with some products, that they're relying almost entirely on pH or acidity currently for their whole CCP, if you like, for dips and that sort of thing. And they still want to rely on that, even though HPP is going to give them the protection they would need. They still want to produce something with a very low pH, so the quality isn't going to be there on a dip, for example. And it's quite difficult to get over that. But we're, like you said, we're getting there, because I think all the quality and technical departments of larger companies in particular know about it. And any new companies coming in find out about HPP much sooner now, because there's a lot more information out there.
And then retailers also, I think that retailers are also understanding, because as soon as they see a product with HPP and they start understanding what's going on there, they push for it as well. And they ask companies, like, can you provide an HPP solution? So if we look at the future, I think there is a lot of more future for the HPP products than for conventional with conservatives or pasteurization and things like that.
We now say that the HPP is not new technology, but innovative technology. So as you say, a lot of people already know the advantages of using this technology. Still a lot to learn, of course, but we can create new products that with pasteurization weren't possible. So yeah, I agree with your comments. Okay, so let's move for the next question. What application or product categories do you think will be the next step in the use of HPP technology?
Yeah, it depends on the country. So because we saw big differences between the continents, but also I believe there are differences between particular countries in Europe. For example, when we are on the beginning of the spots in Poland and the juices are appearing on the beginning, but we see an interest in the fruit purees, for example, or a meat industry, as well as seafood. So they are interested in the technology as well. Salad and hummus probably will appear as well. But guacamole, for example, we are not able to produce it. So we have the opportunity to trade with that product. It's great, but it's not possible to be produced in Poland. So there will be some regional changes. I see that, or my personal opinion is that we should invest in the children's food, but I do not see a big interest in that area. That's interesting for me. We've also been involved in the research and development activities with the pet food producer. So they are producing the food for dogs and cats, and they are pretty much interested. But also the limitation is the distribution. So they have to find the logistics solution with the chilled cars, and then some refrigerators has to be installed in the shops. So there are always some kind of limitation in this area, but nevertheless, it seems to be the direction. So people in Europe will follow.
Okay.
For me, I would say that ready-to-eat products, I think it's the next big thing that, I mean, all of the products will grow for sure. That's because based on what we said before, but ready-to-eat products, I think that they still have a lot of room to grow, mainly related to the fact that the final consumer is always looking for more convenient food and food on the go and things like that. And I think that here is where this category of product can grow a lot, because they are also looking for more healthy options.
Clean label, etc.
Yeah, and I've also thought many times that I think that not in the food industry, but in the pharma industry, I think that there is a big opportunity, maybe in the mid-long term, mainly based on solutions based on egg products or things like that. So I think that there's also not that clear, but I also think there is an opportunity.
For us, the interesting part, we'll have some baby foods in retail, and I think, as you said, Marek, it's difficult without the right infrastructure in supermarkets and still without people understanding HPP enough, and also being used to just ambient products for so many years. It's quite a difficult hurdle, but some of the retailers are really trying to get to overcome it. In America, obviously, they've put in specific chillers. For some of the pet foods, we've got specific chillers for fresh pet and things like that in the UK. But there is still that hurdle to overcome. It's more at the moment the delivery to home service that seems to be working better for a subscription service that's working for things like baby foods. With the pet food, again, we can see that growing. We've done a lot of work on it, and I think it's going to be more frozen products than it is chilled. So it's inactivated the pathogens, but you won't still get enough shelf life because of the nature of the ingredients to make it a chilled product that will work routinely. So I think the frozen side of that will develop, and we have still got a few legislative hurdles, some legal hurdles to overcome with our different agencies who want to make it happen, but it's taking time, particularly for us because of Brexit, for them to change the regulations so that we can produce or handle pet food in the same place as human food is something that's going to happen. And they want to do it, but it's taking a little bit of time. The only other thing we thought is products for export for all of you, for us as well. We're seeing products that are normally relatively short shelf life of maybe 20 days, but we can extend the life to 100 plus. And the Far East and Middle East are wanting, traditional products from, Europe, aren't they? And so they're looking for that. And that wasn't possible unless you were going to fly them there before. But now they can put them on a ship, which means the costs are reduced. So we're seeing that as a growth area. And one of the specific, you might be interested, I don't know if you've seen, is something called overnight oats, which is becoming quite big in the US, of a soaked oat product with fruit and milk or a non-dairy alternative. And that's something that, we used to porridge in the UK and cold porridge for our breakfast. So it's the sort of thing that is growing, as we speak, really.
Yeah, and the good thing about that product is that you can eat in the morning, midday, lunch, dinner.
And it's healthy, it's good energy, it's got fruit in it, it's a good carbohydrate, but normally it lasts 3-4 days at the most. So with a 30-day shelf life, it's fine.
Okay, great. So let's go for the fifth question. For a European food manufacturer that is considering to start using HPP, what are the key aspects they need to consider to make a decision? Product development, packaging, validation, I don't know. What do you consider they should be in mind?
I think that all of them are important to me. There is no more important thing than everything. It's like you need to always validate the packaging, and you always need to test the product, how it responds to HPP. You need to validate what is the best recipe and the shelf life and everything. And I think that here is where us, the tollers, have a lot to say. We have a lot of experience. We always see dozens and dozens of different references going on through our machines on a weekly basis. And I think that we can help a lot in the development stage and this initial stage of adopting the HPP technology, always at a very low cost for them.
I think that's one of the critical things, isn't it? Is the cost benefit is obviously really up there with a lot of these guys. If there's always the additional shipping in and out of our facility, and there's the cost of the process, and it's that cost benefit is the quality of the product. Are they going to be able to retail that and make any money out of it? And the additional packaging, etc., is a really big issue for a lot of people that we're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will add only that we see additional two issues: the logistics, but not only in terms of the additional costs, but also the logistics, because most of our customers, for example, who are producing the pasteurized juices, they didn't even experience the problem with the chilled product. So they have to keep the temperature in a proper way in the whole chain of the logistics. So that means all supply chain. So that means that they have to change their style of working with the logistics. And this is the first issue. So in Poland, we do not have a very good prepared the distribution chain for such a product. There are only a few companies making that things. And the second issue, what I can see is that manufacturers have to definitely look for the good quality products, or increase the quality sometimes, because the low quality of the raw material or product is not a problem in the pasteurization, but it seems for us to be a problematic issue in case of the HPP. So it's a good and weak point. Good enough because we should inform, and we are informing that for HPP we are choosing the best products or the best materials. What you can avoid in terms of pasteurization. So that is the difference. But also it makes it most costly. So it's more expensive to purchase a better quality product. So we have some experiences with the meat producers. After pascalization, it's something happened with the meat. So because of the previous preparation or lack of the preparation, or the weak or low quality of the raw material. So everything which is connected with the HPP seems for me to be better quality. So I can trust in the meat packed with the HPP processing, because I know that it cannot be lower quality. I don't know how to explain it, but probably you understand me.
Yeah, we understood you. So I understood you, I guess. So we need a great product for HPP to get an excellent product after the treatment, after the high pressure.
The manufacturer has to definitely prepare the product properly and have
exactly. And good raw material. Everything is really important. The the micro analysis should be also good. Although high pressure is going to have to reduce the microorganisms, but they should be good before the high pressure. So yeah.
Just one of the. Sorry, go on ahead.
No, please go ahead.
Just one of the one area I was thinking about where that there is an ability sometimes to use graded, or I hate the term waste stream, but of some products like avocado, which is either too hard or too soft to go into retail, that otherwise would go to waste. And so there's sometimes an ability you can actually use part of that, and you're then using the whole crop utilization, because the main fruit goes into retail, and then the pulp, which is too soft, can go into an HPP product. But I agree with you. Another our juice producers always say, well, I have to use, you can taste the difference if you use oranges that aren't of the best quality. It has to be a good quality product.
Yeah, I usually say that the product after HPP is still alive, so it still evolves. It's going. There are things still going on there, so you cannot expect to turn something bad into good after HPP. You need to make sure that the raw material quality is good to keep with the freshness after HPP.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the sixth question is, what do you value the most when acquiring an HPP equipment? After sales, service, reliability, application service.
I think that for me the reliability of the HPP system is very important, and then also the cost, obviously. So I think that Hiperbaric actually, these two has a great balance of both of them. And then the after sales service for me is also a very important thing. And here I think is also where when Hiperbaric becomes let's say unbeatable, because they're constantly supporting their customers with not only with anything that you may need at the moment, but also with upgradings on the system that is making reliability higher while at the same time reducing the cost of maintenance. So it's a perfect combination for me.
For us, Hyperbaric, we're always a food-focused business. So the whole design of the equipment in the first place was about food production, and obviously other machinery manufacturers have evolved from a different industry, and so to have machines where the food safety and food hygiene and have been at the forefront of the thought in the manufacture of the machines has been really important. I think, as Ramon said as well, very strong technical support. Whenever we ask you for any advice about a particular application, we get a very good, timely response. It's in detail, very helpful, very honest about everything. If you can't tell us, you can't tell us, because it's, but we've always had that relationship, which has been just very straightforward, and so I think we have just a good partnership, really.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, both of you, for your kind words.
I can add only that the support for us from the side of Hiperbaric is even more important than the technology. We are pretty new in the business, so we are still learning all the matters. But nevertheless, I remember the beginning of our talks. So it's extremely important that the approach of the president of the board and the entire team of Hiperbaric was exemplary. So that was really something what built our trust. And since that time, it's almost a year. So we are still strengthening this trust. So thank you for that.
Thank you all for your kind words.
We like to work with people. So all those things are really important, like reliability, self-service or after-sales service, maintenance, and so on. But very often we are facing with some problems, some issues, some questions from our customers. And we feel that we are always welcome to ask the question, and you are looking for the answers. So thank you for that.
Thank you all. Okay, so let's go for the seventh inquiry. How is the current consumers' behavior affecting the types of product that your company is producing? So, for instance, the clean label, sustainability, supplying and production methods.
I don't know who may start. Yeah, I will say only that the consumer are increasingly looking for fresh and healthy products. This is in Poland. I believe it's a global trend as well. But they are looking for a product which is free from the preservatives or the artificial flavor enhancers. So the readiness of the product to use is also some kind of a factor. So the people would like to purchase a product and eat it immediately or drink it without the preparation. So this is something like we see. Very important trend is I see it's because of the change in the retail. For example, in Poland, the convenience stores are growing rapidly, extremely rapidly, and this category is also pushing every producer to fulfill some requirements. For example, smaller packaging. So this is something what is growing faster than ever. In Poland, we see also the challenge with the plastic, which is the case of HPP. So, for example, in Czech Republic, we are selling juices with the plastic, and it's obvious it's a good product. In Poland, everybody thinks that in a glass it is more healthy and more environmental friendly product. So you are facing many questions. So your product is so nice, so healthy, and so on. But how it is that you are using the plastic packaging? So the direction where the word of the HPP and Hiperbaric is going to make a bulk is also some kind of a trend.
Mm-hmm.
I see the only thing one more, that people are not spending as much time in the shops. So they are just entering the shop, purchasing a product. It should be well known before they enter the shop. They are not reading the labels. They are not spending time more than they need to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you've said it all already. So there's not that much to add. And I think that as you said, it's not everything always positive, let's say. So if we have to improve something, is on the plastic side, because customers are looking always for more sustainable things, and the plastic is the pending issue. Okay, and we are already seeing cycle PET, things like that, but there is still a lot of room to grow. But I think that the HPP responds very well to all the other things that they are looking for: convenience, clean label, fresh product. So yeah,
we're seeing some plant-based products that can't take any heat before they're sold to the final consumer. The consumer would then prepare them at home. So that growth in plant-based, of coming away from animal-based products, is creating some new products that only HPP will actually work with in order to give shelf life. So that's something that the consumers are demanding. The other for us, I think, is bringing the critical control points to the home country, because we have a few customers who import products from, say, China or whatever, and they don't want to necessarily rely on the food safety in that country, and so we're putting the critical control points in the UK before they then go to retail. So it's again that there's been a lot more focus on food safety, and obviously allergens and all sorts of other things as well, but food safety and food hygiene in the UK. Again, because the world's become a smaller place in terms of the foods that we eat. We're seeing consumers or retailers or business to business actually requiring that further process when they arrive here.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. Thank you very much for your comments. That was the last question of this panel. It's been a pleasure to have you and share your experience with us. The questions raised over this time by our attendees will be answered in the coming days. We can only tell you, to our attendees, that you can continue learning and enjoying the content of the HPP Innovation Week. Thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you.
And our attendees, and
thank you.
bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.